party people, it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I am here and I have my bargain bead box and we are going to attempt to make a necklace today. I have an idea of what I think the necklace is gonna turn out to be like. So I'm gonna try to do a double focal situation. So that's what we're going to do in this video. That's what you can expect. Down in the description box below, you are going to see timestamps if you want to fast forward, rewind, all that good things. You can do that. There will be links down there to the bargain bead box, and there will also be links to Thunderhorse Descendant, where you can go over to the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, post your photos of things you've made with the bargain bead box. That's fine. In the Thunderhorse Descendant group, I have a group and a business page where I do lives on Tuesday and Friday of every week, and that's at 8 p.m. Central Time. So I invite you guys to come over there and join us for that. That is where we do all of our giveaways and, you know, all that other fun things. So let's jump into the video. Here we go. Alright guys, so here we are on the mat. And again, if you are not familiar with bargain bead box, I have a video for the unboxing of all of the items, and I'll link that here in the cards so that you can swing over there and take a look at all of the things. But basically, bargain bead box is a $17.95 a month that's shipped to your door. And they do like a themed box. And it comes every month, and it's always different. And so what I do here on Thunderhorse Descendant is I make projects with what's in the box, and as the items start to dissipate because of the projects I've made, I no longer use those beads, obviously, because I don't have any. The reason I do that is because I think, like, you know, people are, you know, having the same experience. Their beads are dwindling as they make projects. So I kind of try to do that. And I always try to challenge myself to make a project and using just what I have left. So with all that being said, I am just separating some things here. I believe we are going to use all these guys. So I'm going to use the big focal and the rose focal. The larger round beads. What were these called? What number is this? Number 4? No, I must have mixed them up. Well, anyways, I'm going to use these guys. I can't remember what exactly they are called. I'm going to use those. I'm going to use these crystals, these pink Chinese crystals, probably some spacers. I'm going to try to use the small and the large rose quartz in this necklace. I don't think I will use all of it. Excuse me. But gonna probably need a few bead caps here. Let me just get a little dish. And definitely gonna need one of these guys, the clip, the little clippity clip, and a ring to go with it. I actually really enjoy these a lot. They have been quite fun to work with. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. True Thunderhorse Descendant fashion. Okay. So we got that. These are the crystals that I had left after I made that bracelet we made last time. So I might sprinkle some of those in there. And then the rose quartz. These two little flowers. You know, I don't know if I want to save these or not. We'll put them out here. We might use them, or we might save them for the next project. We'll see how far along we get with the stringing portion of this. And then the spacers. So I just have a little dish for my spacers. All right. So that is what it's looking like. And that may change. But as far as right now, this is what we got. So I'm going to jump off camera here. I'm going to get this all set up. We're going to jump right into the beading. And today, FYI, in this video, I am going to try out kind of a new technique. I'm trying to work on saving some time for us so that the videos are not quite so long. And I'm going to try a new technique for that today. So be prepared for that. But you will see everything that I'm doing that I'm making, but it's just like if it's repetitive stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So here we go. All right, guys, so we're all set up here. I got all my beads. I did find out that these ones were called the 10-piece strand of 10mm dyed quartz beads in coral, so I did find that out. As far as tools go today, I am going to be using 22 gauge tarnish resistant copper core in rose gold. This is from the Taylor's Falls Bead Store. It is kind of that lighter rose gold, and I thought that it would be good to match. So I'm going to use that. This is new. I've never opened it. Here we go. Right. So we're going to use that. I'm also going to be using some soft flex beading wire. This is heavy, and you can see on here, diameter is 0.024. Is that right? Yeah. So it's going to use that heavy wire because I'm going to use some of these beads. I don't know that you would necessarily need the heavy wire, but I have it, so I'm going to use it. All right, guys, let's just jump right in. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get myself some of this rose gold wire. I'm going to cut off about 6 inches. And move these up a little ways here so we can focus on our focal. So here's my idea. My idea is that we take this focal, which is beautiful, and we take this flower pendant and we kind of stack them together like this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my round nose, and I'm just going to start making a wire wrapped loop here, and this is what you should have. I'm just going to leave that open for now, because as I'm not quite sure how much extra I want to put on here yet, so I am just going to leave that open for now, so when I do get it on there, I can wrap it onto the pendant. So here we go. I'm going to start adding some beads, and I think what I want to do here is I want to add in some of these little small rose quartz. And I'm just going to put this on my wire, small rose quartz, and then a bicone. I'm then going to put a little spacer bead. And you know what? I wonder if those little, I got like, I don't know, 10 of these little rhodochrosite left. Let's see if one of those little babies will even fit on there. Because that could be cute. Bring in a little stone with it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that looks cute. So now I kind of got a gauge. I'm going to put on a few more of those rhodochrosite. I think I'll do 3. Because they're also small enough, I might even have to do more than 3. They're also small enough that when you string your pendant on, okay, because this wire's got to bend a little bit. And you're going to be wire wrapped onto here somewhere. So yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, so that's what I got. I got 3 rhodochrosite, 1 of the spacers, 1 bicone, and 1 of the smaller rose quartz. So I'm just going to do that on the other side, which actually turned out pretty good, because I was like, oh, what am I going to do with these extra rhodochrosite stones? They're so little. Sorry if my camera is being crazy. Kind of, is there like a more pinky one? No. Must put, oh, this one's kind of pinky. Kind of pinky. Okay. And so I'm just going up the other side here. Easy peasy. And a bicone. And a stone. All right. So now, this is what we got. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of slightly bend this a little. And I think what we're going to do, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to finish these. So let me finish this side because I think we're going to have to attach onto there with some jump rings. You wouldn't have to, but just for this purpose, I think I'm gonna, because I'm not exactly sure where I want to place them. And I just feel like that'll make it easier to deal with. Maybe a little more. There we go. And I'm just going to trim this up with my flush cutter. Squish that a little bit. I didn't get quite as much off there as I would like. Okay. I'm just squishing this around. All right. So now, since this one is still kind of open, I can kind of back it up a little bit because that side got a little tighter than I'd like. There we go. So I got about 3 wraps on that side. Since this is my focal, I kind of want them to be the same. But I also don't want it to be so tight that the beads can't move around a little bit because, you know, I don't want anything to get squished out and then have a problem. So I'm just tucking and rolling and moving here. This one got a little misshapen. Straighten him out some. Okay, so here's what we got. So now what I want to do, and if this gets out of shape, it's fine. You can kind of give it a little shape as we, you know, right before we put it on or what have you. So now what I want to do is I want to grab up some of these jump rings they provided. Now these are a little larger than I would like. But we're going to use them. They are a little larger than I'd like, which is why I said, you know, you could probably I'm just looking. So I would say this is the middle. I would say this is the middle. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I think that looks good. So I've got my thumb on the middle, and I'm not counting the middle. I'm counting 4 over from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put him in there. And let's see. I got to spin this guy flat. This guy flat. And I'm going to connect him here. And we'll see if that's enough space. Maybe, I think it kind of depends on personal preference. But we'll see. Okay, on to the next. So now this is in the fourth one. 4, 3, 2, 1, middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear Jake toes. Oh, he's going upstairs. My puppy. So now just close that up there. All right, let's see what we got. Hey, is it straight? It is, for the most part. I feel like, let me see. Yeah, I feel like it's straight. I feel like, if you needed to adjust, you could kind of bow these out one way or the other. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with it. Nice. I like it. I am considering putting on a few, maybe a dangle here to kind of just take away from this jump ring situation. Like I said, if these were smaller, you know, we'd be in a little better situation. But, so, they're not smaller, and that's fine, because you don't have to, whatever, over here at Thunderhorse Descendant. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap up a couple of the bicones, and we will put a little wrap there, and we'll just hide it a little bit, call that a day. Okay, so, I am going to put a little bicone on there, a little dangly. I'm going to cut myself a little wire here. Move this to the side. And we are going to make a bald head pin, or a rosette head pin. So you could use these, but I'm not going to use these because I think that I want to, I want to be able to wrap directly onto here, and I don't think that's going to give me enough length to do that. So, making your own head pin, you are going to take the tippy tip of the wire and the tippy tip of the plier, and you're going to spin. You get back, that's 1. See there? 1. You can kind of squish that down as it goes around. And then you go around again, that's 2. You're going to push this straight out. Pull it off the plier. Flip it around. Bring it, the tail end through the little nest that you've made. Take a plier, pull it down. So now the only thing about this is that you do kind of got to straighten it out so it's kind of makes a little nest at the bottom. And then make sure you tuck in this little tail here. If you're real worried about it, you could even give it a little snip. Okay, hold on, he's being problematic. You could give it a little snip, but this is down on the pendant, and it is, you know, awfully close to the skin, maybe on the neck, you know, so you want to make sure that that guy's really in there. Now I'll put my bicone on, and I'm going to put on a little piece of rhodochrosite. Just kind of straighten all that out. I'm going to bring my pendant in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire wrap, and I think I'm going to go this one, the next one, the one above the jump ring. So I'm just going to start my wrapped loop, get it going, and then I'm going to take him off there, bring him to the pendant, and I'm going to go into this one, the next one. So let's put him on there, kind of get him situated. If I can. There he goes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose and I'm going to snug up right there with the wire and everything. And then I'm going to wrap. That's probably good. 2.5, 3 times, depending on what you like. I'm going to snip. And I'm going to tuck. And now, oh yeah, I just like that little extra kind of little movement there. So I'm going to do the other side. And also I think when it's hanging, then you're going to be more so, oh, I'm way out of the thing here. You're going to be more so looking over here than you are at this jump ring we got on there. But like I said, if you wanted to measure everything out and just wire wrap onto the pendant, you could do that. But I don't know. I think it's kind of nice. It kind of gives it a little more movement. You know, I like my stuff to have movement because if it doesn't, when you're wearing it, I feel like, you know, if it's on a mannequin or it's on your bead mat or whatever, like, you know, okay. But once you get it on and you're going to, you know, really use it, it's like, well, I don't want it to be like so tight that the whole thing moves over and you're wearing it's all crooked, you know, that whole bit. So, anywho, here we go. Oh, get on there, you. Making another head pin. Didn't give myself very much wire on this one. I hope it's big enough. Well, we shall see. Bring him down here. And tuck all that in there. And I always touch it to make sure. Like, so if it's rubbing on anything, yeah, you know, then you can correct that. Okay, bicone and one little tiny row across it. And then bring our pendant back. And get this guy ready to go. Now, sometimes, so I make my loops pretty little, but once I get them on there, you know, sometimes you got to back them up or whatever, and that's fine. No worries. So 1, 2, just going over one from, see, so part of the struggle is my loop is really little here, so I'm just gonna kind of wiggle it around till it gets on there. But see, then what happens is when I go and I want to make sure I'm grabbing that wire right up snug next to the pendant, it's actually gonna make that loop bigger, which is what I want. So I'm gonna spin. Spin and snip and cut. All right. Yay. Ooh. And then drop it. Make sure it's durable, right? Yeah, I like it. I am super pleased with that. I think that little movement is really going to do something. I mean, if you wanted, you could maybe even do a little something there. I'm not going to. I think that might be a little much. All right. So now I'm going to put our pendant to the side. We're going to do, let me zoom you out. We're going to do just some beadedness here. So I'm going to move this over and I'm going to bring the beads in and we're going to do one side and then I'm going to bounce off the camera and I'm going to do the other side. So, because it's going to be exactly the same. This is one of those things I was talking about that I'm trying to do with my camera work. So feel free to leave in the comment if you like that, if you don't like that, la-ti-da, you know, we'll see where we're at. But I just feel like it's you know, there's no point in watching repetitiveness. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to use my saw flex. And I'm not going to be using any wire guardians with this. I'm just going to use a bead, crimp bead. And so I'm going to take out, well, let's see. Should I cut both sides at the same time? I don't know. I want this, let me just measure it. Just let me measure it. I don't usually measure, but you know, for the purpose of this video. All right, so I'm going to take 12, no, I'm going to take, the entirety would be about 14 inches. 14 inches. I'm only really going to beat up 10 inches of that. But that's going to leave me a couple inches to do my, you know, my crimping and my whatnots. So I don't really like to waste this wire, so I try to, you know. So hopefully we'll be good to go. So what I'm going to do is I am going to connect onto the pendant right here. Okay, so I'm going to get my, I had some crimp, here we go. I'm going to get my crimp tubes out and put that on there. Okay. And I'm just going to go back through with this side. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Where'd it go? Okay. So, this is what I got going on here. I'm just going to bring him down. And I'm going to pull it tight, but I'm not going to pull it so tight that this can't move. So I'm going to leave a little space there. To measure that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little guy here. And I'm going to just stick it in there so I can see about where on my plier that is. Then I'm going to get my crimper. And I'm going to crimp. So to crimp properly, you got to have a crimp tool. It's got the two spaces. One looks like this, looks like upside down lips. And one looks like kind of like an eye, lips and an eye. So you put your lips on there. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your wire is not twisted in there inside that bead. And you put it on there. And crimp it down. So what you're going to get looks like that. So it's actually in between the strands. Then you're going to put that back into the eye and give it another crimp. And that's what's going to bring your crimp together, you see. So now you could use a bead cap on this. You don't have to, but you could. So, you know, I don't know that I will this time. I usually do, but I don't know that I will. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to zoom you out so you can kind of get the full effect. I'm not going to worry about that little tail right now because I am actually going to put on some beads and then we'll cut it off. So I'm just going to start stringing. So I have no rhyme or reason right now to my stringing. I'm just putting on what feels like I should put on. Trying to put the spacer on here. And I would like for it to go over the top of this. It has like a burr on it. So cut that burr off. But I would like this to go over the top of both of those strands. But you know, I don't know that it's gonna. Strange. Let's try a different one. Maybe a bicone. Okay. But now, see, I might have to go ahead and put a bead cover on there. I think I will, just because, you know, I don't want that bicone to slip. Oh, you guys can't even see. I don't want this bicone to slip down over the top of that bead. I don't know that it will, but we are going to be putting some stone on the top. So just to be safe, I'm going to put a bead cover on. So bead covers look like little C's. And this is just to cover up your, crimp bead, right? Make sure it's closed up all the way. All right. So now we know for sure that's not going to go anywhere. Not going to slide over the crimp bead or anything like that. So now I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to put on what I feel like. I got a bicone on there. I am going to put these bigger beads down towards the bottom. So I'm going to do one of these cherry, I think they were, what was this? Coral? The coral quartz. So let's see if I can get that. Oh yeah, he just went right in there. I don't even have to trim that. I don't think it's going to be fine inside of there. I'm going to do the cherry quartz. And I'm going to do one of the larger quartz. Ooh. Now, a girlfriend of mine suggested this. We got these bead caps over here. We were talking this morning, and she said, oh, you should put those bead caps on those cherry coral quartz. And I said, oh, I like that idea. So I'll do that and see how it looks. I can get it out of there. Holy Hannah. Okay. Oh yeah, that looks good. So thanks, Rebecca, for that. All right, now I'm going to do a larger cherry quartz. I'll do a smaller cherry quartz. No, I'm going to do one of these crystals. And then a smaller quartz. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do some stringing. I'm just stringing on. I think I might be able to go again with the same pattern. Only got enough bead covers here, it looks like, because you got to do the other side too. There's 4 here. So I think that's all I can do for that. To change it up a little, I think I will put a large quartz, a spacer, another large quartz, a spacer. One of these beads, one of these guys, and a smaller one, and a bicone. Yeah. So, that's how we're coming. Looking pretty good, I think. I better see if I can sneak on a few of them rhodochrosite where them at. Over here? Because we only got, what do we got? We got a few. What's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got 3 for each side. So this is important when you're doing 2 sides. You got to make sure you got your beads split up so you know that you're not going to run out. Because there is nothing worse. I think I will do a spacer bead here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me, I think it's better in the zoom out when we're doing this because then you can see the whole thing. I'm going to put 3 of the rhodochrosite. Maybe. Oh yeah, fits right on there. 1, 2, 3. Put those on there. And I mean, obviously, you can make any kind of design you want to here. This is you know, you just go for it. So I think I'll do a spacer. And I could put one of them flowers on there. I don't think I will. I think I'll just do bicone. And a spacer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat what I have here. So I don't have any, I can't use any more of the bead caps, but I can do the pattern I got going on down here. Just without them. Yeah, like that. And then now here on the top, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, for the rest of this, I mean, you wouldn't have to. You could do whatever you want. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all these small quartz. Because I just think that that looks nice. Especially, you got to think this portion is going to be up more on your neck. You know what I mean? So I think it's nice that we sprinkle them in. And then also it depends on here how many, how long you want your necklace to be. So, you know, if you wanted a shorter necklace, you could stop right here, which is probably what I will do. So what do I got on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 on there. Let me measure it for us. So we have, yeah, 18. It's like exactly 18. See, this is why. So it'll be 18 to here, and then this is going to be an additional, you know, hanging down, you know, 3 inches, 4 inches. So you're looking at 20 something inches on the necklace, and that's if you don't do an extender. So it's a thing to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do here now is I am going to put on the hook. I'm just going to connect right onto here. So this is going to be, when you're wearing this, this is going to be where you put the hook, because it's going to be this way when you're wearing it. If you are right-handed. If you're left-handed, it'll go on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this around here. Oh, where's my bead? I have my crimpy bead. Come here, crimpy bead. So put my crimp bead on. Okay. Get out of here. Okay, so I got my crimp bead on, and then my hook. And I go back through the crimp bead. Which can be a little gubby. There we go. Kind of like threading a needle. And I'm going to bring that down. But also what I want to do here is I want to run this. I don't know if this is going to fit on here. Is it? Oh, yeah. I'm going to go through 2 beads. You don't have to do that. You do what you want. No rules. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to pull on this. So now, here's the other thing. I don't want this to be so tight, because this is going to be moving around, you know, and we don't want to choke our beads out. So I need to make sure that I'm giving everything enough room to move around when it's on. But you got to be kind of careful, because you don't want to leave too much so it looks, you know, like oh, there's all this extra, you know, so to each their own. Here we go. Do the crimping. Okay, wait a minute. Get into that last notch there. Flip it around. And there's our crimp. Oh. And there's our crimp. So now what I'm going to do, before I put on that bead cover, is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut off this excess. I'm going to try to get as close as I can without hurting anything. Pull these down a little bit, because then when I go to put on this crimp cover, the crimp cover is going to take up a little space. And so my theory is that if you do the cutting first, then when you go to put this on, and you got to kind of scoot them down a little bit to get it on, you're going to pull that tail into the bead, just like a smidge, like half a smidge, and then it's not going to pop out, you know. It doesn't always work out that way, but most of the time. All right, guys, let me zoom. So that's what it looks like. And then these guys are kind of get them worked in a little bit from my last experience. So let me just zoom you out. Yeah. Okay. So I am going to pop off here. I'm going to do this other side. I'll attach it, and then we'll come back on and put on this guy, the other side of the clip. Be right back. Okay, guys, so here we are. I got the other side just ready to go. I think it looks really nice. Just did the same pattern on this side. And now we will just put on the other end here. So it's pretty much the same process. You're just going to do your crimp bead. And then you just have these rings. So this is not adjustable, but if you wanted to, I think in the last video I showed you how to make these adjustable in that walk on the beach bracelet that we did. So you would just link those together with some more jump rings, or maybe an oval jump ring, and then you could make it adjustable if you wanted. I used all mine up, so I will not be making it adjustable. But for the most part, we're just doing kind of the same process here. Just, again, making sure everything can move. I pulled this a little bit tight, and I want to give it a little slacky slack. Okay, so just want to make sure everything can move around. Comparing it to the other side by feel. How much does this one have? And I gotta do just a little smidge tighter. All right, and here we go with our crimping. Same process. Make sure that you're not twisted. You're going to go with the lips. Put it into the lips. Squish. Turn it. Put it into the eye. And you're going to get a crimp. Like so. So now on this side, again, we're going to cut this tail off first. So you kind of pull everything where it needs to be. Cut as close as you can with your flush cutter. And then kind of slide everything back down and get your bead cover. And then, here we go. Put your bead cover on. Oh, mine got twisted. I try not to think about it. I feel like the more I think about it, the more messed up it gets. So you got to commit. It's like flipping eggs. You have to flip the eggs. You can't hesitate. But you do what you want. I do what I just do it how I know how to do it. Okay. So, let me move all this out of the way since this is completed. And yeah, these hooks are a little stiff. I was giving it a little tug. I don't want to tug on it too much, break it, you know? I mean, they're supposed to be snug because you don't want this to fall off once you've done it. But also, like, it's a little tight. All right, guys. There she is. I love it. I think it turned out pretty good. I will get some photos of it. And I will, you know, do the little video montage here at the end for you as I normally do. But there she is.